April 20th, 1942. 15,000 feet above the churning Pacific, off the Solomon Islands. Lieutenant Charles H. Morton Jr., U.S. Navy dive bomber pilot, grips the stick of his SBD Dauntless. Fuel needle flickering red, engine coughing through oil smoke. The horizon blurs in the relentless sun. Waves crash far below like shattering glass. Morton's squadron, scattered hours ago in the chaos of the Coral Sea, skirmishes Japanese Zeros slashing through the sky. Anti-aircraft fire looming black. His radio man shouts over the roar. Radio dead, position lost, exhaustion claws at his eyes. Through the glare, a flat gray deck emerges. A carrier, alive with crew waving flags, planes parked in neat rows. Salvation. He circles once, drops flaps, lines up the approach. Wind howls through the cockpit. The deck rushes up hooks, snags the wire, tires screech, plane jolts to a halt. Deckhands swarm, faces unfamiliar under foreign caps. Morton kills the engine, swings the canopy. Shouts in Japanese pierce the air. Rising sun flags snap in the breeze. His heart slams a nightmare realization. This is the WWII, enemy heart of the Imperial Navy. Hands yank him from the seat. Rifles jab his ribs. You can almost feel the deck tremble under frantic boots, smell the salt and fear sweat. The Ryujo slices through swells, part of Vice Admiral Kiichi Nagumo's task force, probing for American weakness. Crewmen scramble across her 600-foot deck, prepping Aichi dive bombers for the next strike. Morton's Dauntless sits intact amid them, a gift from the sky, its 50 caliber guns gleaming, bombs still slung under wings. Lieutenant Morton, 25, from Texas oil fields, blinks in disbelief. Moments ago, he bombed Japanese destroyers. Now he's prisoner zero. Japanese officers bark orders. Captain Masunaga Hiroshi storms from the bridge, eyes wide at the prize. An undamaged enemy scout plane, Intel Gold. They drag Morton below deck steel corridors reeking of soy and machine oil. He catches glimpses. Rising sun emblazoned everywhere, crew staring like ghosts. Interrogation begins in a dim wardroom. "Why land here, Gaijin?" a translator snarls. Morton stays silent, mind-racing escape impossible, yet certain. You can hear the propellers of patrolling Zeros overhead, drumming fate, but the sea doesn't sleep. Radar pings. American carriers closing fast. Alarms wail. Ryujo heels into evasive turns, guns swiveling skyward. Morton's plane? Hastily tied down, too valuable to ditch. Battle of the Eastern Solomons looms. What if Dauntless rides out the storm? Steel bulkheads close in like a coffin lid. Lieutenant Morton sits chained to a metal chair in the Ryujo's bowels, sweat stinging his eyes under a bare bulb's glare. Lieutenant Commander Taro Fujita, intelligence officer with a scar twisting his lip, circles slowly, notes in hand. Your carrier's name? Fuel state? Squadron strength? The translator's voice cracks like a whip. Morton stares at the deck plates, scarred from 1,000 takeoffs, tasting blood from a split lip. Silence his only weapon, every word a betrayal. Crew whispers filter through vents. The American plane's markings scanned, its IFF codes plucked like ripe fruit. Captain Masunaga orders the Dauntless stripped machine guns removed, cockpit probed for secrets. Engineers marvel at its rugged frame, so unlike fragile valves. Morton's radio man, Petty Officer Ramirez, suffers in the next room, screams echoing faintly. Fujita leans close, breath hot with sock. Talk, or your friend feeds the fish. Outside, the carrier's screws churn water white, task force steaming north, Zeros fueling for dawn patrols. Suddenly, Claxon's shriek bridge reports enemy shadows on radar, 80 miles out. Deck crews dash to battle stations, abandoning the prize for survival. Morton's chains rattle as the ship pitches violently. Fujita pauses, eyes narrowing. What if the Americans strike now? His plane, still armed with a half-ton bomb, tempts sabotage from within. The air thickens with dread escape or execution, seconds ticking. The Ryujo surges forward, her 26-knot speed carving foam from the Pacific's rage. Lookouts strain through binoculars as distant thunder rolls American Avengers and Wildcats swarming from the horizon, payback for Coral Sea scars. Morton's chains bite deeper with each shuddering turn. He smells acrid cordite wafting down vents from the anti-aircraft batteries barking skyward. Fujita bolts upright, barking into a squawk box. Secure the prisoner. Man guns. Footsteps pound past his door like war drums. Up top, chaos reigns. The Dauntless rocks violently, its bomb swaying like a guillotine blade. Japanese mechanics scramble to disarm it, fingers fumbling fuses amid dive bomber howls. A near miss shakes the carrier. Seawater geysers drench the deck, washing men overboard. Captain Nasunaga grips the bridge rail, face ashen, plotting a desperate screen of destroyers. Morton's mind whirls. If Yorktown or Enterprise launches hell, his plane could be the spark. You can almost taste the salt spray, hear the zip of tracers stitching the sky. Then a direct hit forward. Flames erupt from the hangar, secondary blasts ripping planes apart. Ryujo lists, her bow crumpling under torpedo teeth. Alarms wail evacuation. Fujita's gone. Guards drag Morton topside into inferno. Light smoke chokes the air. Screams pierce the roar. The deck tilts perilously. Will the carrier sink with its secrets? Or does the American's fate twist again in the fire? Flames claw up the Ryujo's superstructure like vengeful spirits, paint blistering black under 2,000-degree fury. Guards shove Morton toward the tilting deck, his bare feet slipping on oil-slick steel, lungs burning from smoke thick as tar. Twisted metal groans. A fuel line ruptures nearby, spewing gasoline rain that ignites in whooshing pillars. He spots his Dauntless amid the carnage, fuselage scorched, bomb arming itself in the heat, a ticking apocalypse just yards away. Japanese sailors leap into foaming swells, life jackets few, sharks circling the debris. Captain Nasunaga's voice booms over loudspeakers. Abandon ship! All hands abandon! The carrier heels 20 degrees. Hangar inferno feeding on ammunition explosions pop like fireworks, shredding the flight deck. Morton breaks free in the crush, dodging a falling Zero wing that crushes 2 men. Ramirez appears, bloody but alive, dragged by a merciful ensign. Fujita reemerges, pistol drawn, eyes wild. You caused this, Gaijin. But a blast wave hurls him overboard. You can feel the heat sear your skin, hear the sea swallow screams. Destroyers close in, lines thrown to survivors. Morton and Ramirez hauled aboard the Akigumo, gasping amid frozen stares. Ryujo's bow plunges, stern skyward, a dying leviathan. As she slips under, does the sea claim the Dauntless secrets forever? Or does one American's blunder rewrite the carrier war? The Akigumo slices through swells, littered with wreckage oil slicks shimmering black, bodies bobbing like driftwood under a blood-orange sunset. Morton and Ramirez huddle below decks in a stifling hold, wrists bound, sharing a tin of rice from pitying cooks. Whispers ripple among the crew. The sky devil brought doom. Captain Teraoka eyes them coldly from the bridge, plotting rendezvous with Nagumo's remnants, Midway's ghosts still haunting plans. Night falls heavy, stars piercing the canopy like shrapnel. Interrogation resumes at dawn, Fujita rescued and vengeful, his scar livid under lantern light. Maps spread. Morton's squadron intel could doom Enterprise. Your codes, your orders. Ramirez cracks first, spilling radio frequencies and sobs. Morton resists, but thirst and fever weaken resolve visions of Texas dust bowls, fueling defiance. Zeros buzz overhead, scouting American hunters. The destroyer zigzags, depth charges rumbling in drills. You can taste the brine on your lips, feel the hull quiver with secrets. Then, radar flares, enemy submarines lurking. Akigumo dives into smoke, guns chattering. Morton's gambit feign cooperation, eye a loose hatch. As torpedoes streak past, does freedom beckon in the shadows, or does loyalty seal a watery grave? Torpedo wakes hammer the Akigumo's hull like fists from the deep, steel shuddering as she twists through evasive spirals. Morton seizes the Chaos Guards sprawl amid spilling lockers, flashlight beams dancing wild. His wrists raw from ropes, he shoulder checks a door, spilling into a dim engine room alive, with sweat-slick stokers shoveling coal. Ramirez follows, eyes hollow but fierce, snatching a wrench his weapon. Oil fumes choke the air. Gauges glow red-hot, propellers thrumming doom. They creep amid throbbing machinery, shadows their cloak. A bulkhead hatch yields to brute force salty gale rushes in, stars wheeling above a debris-choked sea. Fujita's shouts echo aft. Prisoners loose. Footsteps thunder. Morton vaults the rail first, Ramirez behind, plunging into inky waves that swallow screams. Cold shocks lungs, current yanks like iron claws. Destroyers' searchlights rake the foam. Machine guns stitching water yards away. You can almost hear the bullets whip past, feel the abyss pull. Driftwood shields them as Akigumo fades into night, her wake a silver trail. Dawn gilds the horizon allied patrols, sharks, or Japanese pickets closing the noose. Survival hangs by a thread in the vast Pacific void. Waves tower like black mountains, slamming Morton and Ramirez under foaming crests that taste of salt and blood. They cling to a splintered zero wing, bobbing through the endless night, muscles screaming, jaws locked against chattering teeth. Shark's fin lazy circles yards off, dorsal slices glinting under moon-silvered swells. Ramirez coughs seawater, whispering prayers in Spanish. Morton scans horizons empty, save for distant flares Nagumo's fleet scattering like roaches. Hypothermia gnaws fingers numb, stars blurring into fever dreams of home. Dawn bleeds red across the sky, painting wreckage fields. Life rafts adrift, oil drums tumbling. A PBY Catalina's drone grows American Black Cat, savior of the lost. Morton fires a flare pistol, scavenged from flotsam. Crimson Arc screaming hope. The flying boat circles low, spotters waving. Grapples drop. Arms haul them aboard into blessed warmth. Medics swarming with blankets and morphine. Yorktown group, the pilot grins. Heard you danced with the enemy. You can feel the engines roar to life, lifting from hell's cradle. But whispers among crew. Ryujo's log salvaged. Morton's landing etched in ink codes, markings all spilled. Did his blunder arm Japan's next strike, or forge a turning tide? Interrogation awaits on solid ground. The PBY thumps down on Espiritu Santo's lagoon, propwash scattering pelicans into the humid dusk. Morton staggers ashore, Ramirez on a stretcher, medics barking orders amid Quonset huts and palm-fringed runways. Navy intelligence swarms like Hornets Captain Harold Larson, stern-faced intel chief, pins Morton with eyes like drill bits. Full debrief, now. Salt-crusted flight suit shed. He recounts the landing, the Ryujo's decks, Fujita's snarls. Maps unroll. His dauntless position pinpoints Nagumo's feint toward Guadalcanal. Shock ripples through brass. Morton's markings, squadron codes, bomb loads now in enemy hands, priming zeros for ambushes. But silver lining gleams. Japanese awe at the dauntless toughness sparks doubts in their Val's frailty. Admiral Fletcher nods grimly from radio reports Ryujo's loss buys time. Morton's escape a morale thunderbolt. Nurses patch wounds. Texas kin notified via censored wire. You can almost smell the aviation gas and jungle rot hear typewriters clacking fates. Yet nightmares linger. Fujita's pistol, the bomb's sway, demotion whispers or hero's ribbon. As Guadalcanal guns rumble distant, does one pilot's error tip the carrier scales forever? Medal ceremonies gleam under New Caledonia floodlights, brass bands blaring anchors away amid cheering Marines fresh from Henderson Field. Lieutenant Morton stands ramrod straight, Navy Cross pinned by Admiral Halsey himself, whose bulldog scowl softens. Son, your blunder's our breakthrough. Crowds roar. Headlines scream, Yank lands on IJN deck, lives to tell. Ramirez earns Silver Star, Texas Fiesta's wired ahead. But Morton's eyes, hollow ghosts of Ryujo's flames, haunt mess hall toasts, sake breath morphing to Fujita's threats. Back in the cockpit, Dauntless replacement snarls to life, Guadalcanal bound. Zeros now hesitate at SBD silhouettes, Ryujo tailies seeding doubt. Morton's intel Nagumo's codes cracked fuels codebreakers at Pearl, averting strikes. Yet guilt festers. Did his silence hold, or did Ramirez's slip doom mates? Night patrols over slot, flak blooming like deadly flowers. You can hear the wind scream through struts, feel the stick buck in dive. Iron bottom sound claims another tin can. Morton pulls up, bombs away. Redemption arcs skyward, but one question burns. In war's mad ledger, accident or destiny? Guadalcanal's mud sucks at boots as Morton's Dauntless thunders off Henderson's scarred strip. Black smoke trailing a fresh Killa Shukaku scout plummeting in flames. Halsey's Cactus Air Force grips the island by fingernails. Morton's whispers shape patrols that bleed Nagumo dry. Ryujo's logs, half-burned from Akagumo survivors, yield scraps as landing a myth inflating I-Jane caution, Val's grounded in fear of ghost Dauntlesses. Victory at Eastern Solomon seals it. Japanese carriers real, Midway's revenge complete. Morton toasts fallen squadron mates with warm beer. Ramirez at his side, scars badges of the improbable. Years blur post-war. Morton farms Texas soil. Kids hearing embellished yarns by firelight. Fujita vanishes in Lady Gulf maelstrom, pistol rusting on some coral grave. The Pacific's ledger closes Morton's blunder a pivot, proving one man's fob can bend empires. War's chaos forges heroes from errors, accidents into annals. You can still hear the hook snag wire, feel fate's wild pivot.